in your role, you operate kind of like, I like to look at it kind of as the sales side of underwriting, marketing underwriting aspects versus Steve Kolb, our chief underwriting officer. He's more on the technical end. What's your philosophy on relationship management, and how have you been able to impart that knowledge onto our younger underwriting staff?
Really, it's kind of you have to teach them the number one, stop emailing, pick up the phone. That these are personal relationships. A lot of, and it's different role depending on where you are, kind of in the food chain. A lot of the relationships that I've had or have, I've had for 20 plus years. These are friends of mine.
Sure.
And so it's a very different thing, that I'm not following up on a quote. I'm saying, hey, John, how are your kids? And, God, can you believe it? They're in college, or, you don't just rush right in that, how do I look on these 3 quotes? You're not just doing quotes for this person. You're creating a relationship. You want this guy to want to work with you, to want to build a block with you. And the only way you do that, you have to be available. You got to be personable.
Right.
They have to like you. You have to show that you like them too. And there's give and take.
Right.
I understand, sometimes there are favors that are requested out there, but before I can do favors, I got to make sure that I have enough business on the books, profitable business on the books that can support that. When, hey, I really need you here, that, okay, this guy has helped me out in the past, or woman. And, it's important to kind of relay that to I hate to call them the younger kids, but they are, a lot of them are, this is their first job out of college or second job out of college, whatever. But they are younger. And so it's hard to coach people in the process of relationship building. It's different for everyone.
Yep, absolutely. As much as we like to think that the industry has changed, and it has changed a lot, right? But at the end of the day, it's still founded and steeped in relationships.
It is. It's with the nature and the volume of the RFPs, it's a transactional business for sure.
Right.
And I don't like to think of it that way, that, low cost wins. There's more to it than that. And that's where you really need to look at your carrier partners. The paper is the policy, mirroring the plan doc. How are you on claims payment, claims turnaround time? And quite frankly, we boast one of the best turnarounds in the country. And so it's no longer, just about partners and our business model, and we're a little bit different. I get that. At the end of the day, it's working with a company that is going to do all those things. You don't want your client yelling at you that, hey, what's the holdup on this claim?
Right.
Well, typically, if there's a holdup on the claim, it's because it wasn't sent in correctly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need to work with those partners to help coach them to get the information in correctly, completely, quickly.
Right.
And you do that by having a great detailed knowledge of the administrators and the plan doc, and what are the nuances of the claim.
Yep, exactly.
So, has this been looked at thoroughly and properly?
Right, exactly. You mentioned 2 things that I thought are pretty telling in terms of at least your own approach to relationship management. You talked about flexibility and reasonability, and I think some of it's entailed in what you just commented on. Can you delve into that a little bit and what that means to you specifically?
Flexibility means answering your phone at 10:30 at night. When you've got a partner that has a problem, it's always being available, and sometimes that's just how it is. I haven't been on vacation in 20 years. Completely. Well, I guess a couple when I was
understood
on an ocean, but
right.
But for the most part, you're available. And that can be tough sometimes with a family. There's flexibility as far as like your personal time, but there's flexibility within the system and being reasonable. Of give me something I can work with. You can't send me a group that has 5 years of $1 million losses and has $250,000 of gross premium, right. and convince me that this is a good deal and this is gonna be okay.
Right.
It's not. It's not going to be okay.
Right.
And so that's where you got to be reasonable about it. Of give me something I can work with, and you got to have clay to mold and kind of fix the glitch, if you will. But there's certain things that you can't help, and you just can't do anything about those situations other than has to have the premium to support it.
You know, even as a salesperson, I think I got to be reasonable too, because of course we always have that dichotomy, right, between us of
The uncomfortable give and take.
right, the give and take, right? You know, our need to sell versus your need to write profitable business. But we all want to, at the end of the day, we all want to sell, right?
Hey,
So
we're competitive. We all want to win.
exactly.
And it's no different than our clients and our partners and the clients that we underwrite. I mean, they wouldn't be self-funded if they didn't anticipate on winning as well.
Yep.
So business, all sides have to be made whole and happy. And so there's not, you're not going to write 100 cases at a 0 loss ratio. It doesn't work that way. But it has to have a reasonable, balanced approach.